for cheating in 2024. Now, check this out. This is not me. This is an independent study that was done, and they just passed the information along to me to share here with you guys today on this podcast. So check this out. 69.9% of affairs start on Instagram. This is why I tell people, if your significant other is on social media, be aware of what they're doing, because sometimes just the smallest act can turn into something, and you need to nip it in the bud. Now, continuing, 69.3% start with a simple DM. Hey, how are you? How you been? You look cute. Whatever the case may be, just a simple DM. 79.7% start by liking a photo. Just by liking a picture, that's it. That opens the door. Now, I tell people this all the time, and they think I'm crazy, where I say, well, you know what, that's just like a gateway to the rest. Oh, you're crazy. It's just liking a picture. No affair ever starts out as a full-blown affair. It all starts out with something, a simple smile, a simple hello, maybe, what have you. It always starts out with something small. Now, of course, you can't go batshit over every picture that is liked, but your presence on social media and how you behave on social media probably has a lot to do with whether or not you're going to cheat. And so if your significant other, as I said, is on social media in any capacity whatsoever, you need to be aware. You need to be what's going on. You need to know who they're communicating with on social media. So this way, if something is going on, you get the hell out of there. Now, 54.4% of people use the calculator app to disguise their messaging app. Now, this is where a great or a really good cell phone monitoring app can come in handy, or pretty much, well, there's only like 2 or 3 that can do this. And a good cell phone monitoring app will get the messages from the app that's being disguised, no matter what. So if it's being disguised by the calculator app or by some other app, maybe the Maps app or what have you, it doesn't make a difference. The cell phone monitoring app is still going to get that information for you. And that's something that you may not be able to do if you just want to look through the phone yourself. Now, keep in mind, and I say this all the time, you should never monitor a person without their knowledge and consent. That's illegal, and it could get you in a lot of trouble. Keep that in mind. Now, also, 98.3% of people who cheat have the answers to all their activity in their phone. That's a fact. The phone is where all the information is. You want to find out what's going on in someone's life? Check out the phone. And if you can't get your hands on the phone, you might want to try a good cell phone monitoring app, because it'll get you the answers that you need. So this way you can make up your own mind and do what's best for you. Statistics for cheating in 2024. Now check this out.
All right, so I wanted to go over today about affairs and cheating and give you my opinions about it and do a little investigating on statistics, facts, who's doing it, and what's going on with it. So maybe not who's doing it, but what's kind of going on with it, and give you my opinions about it. So so watch this whole video so you guys can kind of see the full video, and then now I'm going to break down kind of little by little things that he says, and then I'm going to go to an article and then read from the article and kind of give you my opinions as well.
This is not me. This is an independent study that was done, and they just passed the information along to me to share here with you guys today on this podcast. So check this out. 69.9% of affairs start on Instagram. This is why I tell people, if your significant other is on social media, be aware of what they're doing, because sometimes just the smallest act can turn into something, and you need to nip it in the bud. Now, continuing.
Yeah, so what? That's 70% of it starts on Instagram. Instagram is a dating app. Let's just be real. Instagram is not just like a photo sharing app. It's a dating app for the most part. When it first came out, that's kind of what it was. It was a dating app. That's how you kind of met people. Now, some people used it for like photos and everything like that, but I think it's a dating app. I think a lot of these things are dating apps. So 70%, that's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, you need to. If you're married, I would really consider being very careful on Instagram. Make it private. Just use it for good reasons and good purposes. There's a lot of negative stuff on Instagram. My wife has an Instagram, but she just kind of posts things about our kids. I used to have Instagram a long time ago, like 10 years ago, but I got rid of it as soon as I started dating my wife. So But yeah, my wife uses it for her photography business. She posts pictures of the kids. Her stuff's private. So nothing really goes on with hers just because there's not really any access for things to happen or anything like that. But people need to be real careful with Instagram because there's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of things on there that could be tempting to people that can't handle temptation, that can't get away from temptation, and it's bad. It's like a pornography website in a way with some of the things that they post. So yeah, be very careful on there. Um, you know how, like, they say the thing about if a couple has a joint Facebook or Instagram account, that the joke is that one of them cheated. Now that may be true. I think a lot of it probably is true, maybe. I mean, I've heard stories of it personally, so I think that's why they do it. But in my opinion, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. And what I mean by that is, like, the couples that have the best relationship and marriage, they should have a joint Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok account. Have both their names in it so people know, hey, this is for two people right here. Like, I don't want no guy coming on and trying to say something to my wife, or vice versa, a girl coming on and say something to me. Like, they'll know that we'll both see it, and it's just, don't do that. So I'm in favor of it. I know some people might be embarrassed by it, but I'm in favor of it. I really don't see a problem with it. Like I said, I think it gets a bad reputation with the someone cheated in it. That's usually it is maybe the case, but I still think it has a good benefit to it. So, but let's continue on.
69.3% start with a simple DM. Hey, how are you? How you been? You look cute. Whatever the case may be, just a simple DM. 79.
So what was that? Almost, what was that? 70% start by, what do you say? DM. So yeah, that's just first of all, if you're married or in a relationship, you should not be responding to any DMs at all. First, I don't even know if there's a way for you to, like, have that, for people, for not to have that or whatever, but I'm telling you, like, do not, like, unless you, like, know that person, your husband, your significant other knows that person, I would not say anything to anybody that you do not know. You know what I mean? Don't bark up that tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, the devil's in everything. Don't do that. Even if you're just doing it to be nice, don't even worry about that. Who cares? Just don't even do that, man. It's not gonna be good. I know that you can, like, be, you're faithful and trust and be trust, and you can be trusted and everything like that, but you don't want to go down. You don't want to do that. Like I said, that is a big statistic right there. The whole thing that he's talking about is a big statistic, and you just don't. Nobody wants to do that. You shouldn't do that. Don't respond to any. I would not respond to anybody. Maybe, like, if I was a guy and a guy responded to me, that's fine. Or if a girl responded to my wife, I think that's fine as long as it's appropriate. But if it's the opposite sex, I would, if you're married or in a relationship, don't do that. Don't do that.
7% start by liking a photo. Just by liking a picture. That's it. That opens the door. Now, I tell people this all the time, and they think I'm crazy, where I say, well, you know what, that's just like a gateway to the rest. Oh, you're crazy. It's just liking a picture. No. No affair ever starts out as a full-blown affair. It all starts out with something, a simple smile, a simple hello, maybe, what have you. It always starts out with something small. Now, of course, you can't go batshit over every picture that is liked.
And that is so true. He said 80% start by liking a photo. You know how many, like, thirsty people are on there, are just going to be like, oh, let me see what else I can get away with. You know what I mean? 80%. That is a huge percentage, man. 80% start by liking a photo. Like I said, this goes back to the DMs. You shouldn't be liking anybody's photo that's a selfie anything that has to do with the person, I would not do that. You can, I know that you could like different pictures of different things, like if it's a sports one or art or whatever the case may be. But yeah, selfies, people, anything provocative, that's off limits. I would not do that at all. So, but yeah, that's just crazy. Just like you said, that's a gateway, and everything's a gateway. They always say like weed leads to cocaine, cocaine leads to meth, meth leads to heroin, then death. A like leads to a hello leads to texting, a texting leads to sex. And then it's like in a full-blown affair. Everything can be a gateway if you are not careful at all with some of this stuff, man. I'm telling you, everything can be a gateway. Everything.
But your presence on social media and how you behave on social media probably has a lot to do with whether or not you're going to cheat. And so if your significant other, as I said, is on social media in any capacity whatsoever, you need to be aware. You need to be what's going on. You need to know who they're communicating with on social media. So this way, if something is going on, you get the hell out of there. Now, 54.4% of people use the calculator app to disguise their messaging app. Now, this is where a great or a really good cell phone monitoring app can come in handy, or pretty much, well, there's only like 2 or 3 that can do this. And
I think I've heard of that calculator thing once. Is that basically the calculator? It's disguised as the calculator app, but then you click into it and it's like a messaging app. I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm telling you, like, if people are using that, I just don't really understand. Like, why get in a relationship or get married if you are just going to do that stuff? Don't really understand, like, why people do that. I don't really get it. I really don't get it. Like I said in previous videos, and I say it all the time, I think there's a lot more psychopaths out there than we realize that they just want to do this stuff. I really don't get it. I would just have too much guilt. I would hope that everybody else would too. I don't understand how anybody could do that stuff and not feel guilty. I could not go to sleep at night knowing that I'm doing that stuff. It's crazy. I don't understand how people are doing that. So a calculator apps. I don't know. This is like, that's like just as bad as that like Ashley Madison thing where you're married and you go online and have an affair. That's just so weird to me. So, but I think he just kind of continues on with kind of maybe getting the app or whatever. So, what's my opinion on this? Like I said, you have to guard your heart. When you're married, or if you're in a relationship, you need to guard your heart with all your life. There's a lot of things in this world that can tempt you. There's a lot of things in this world that can distract you, get you sidetracked. Social media is the worst at it. If you're not careful on social media, you can see a lot of inappropriate things, and if you don't have a strong mind, you can just get into get down that rabbit hole of the inappropriate things or whatever, and it's not going to be good. You can go on, there's things like OF now that people get into that trap as well. People probably have like affairs on that. So, but Instagram, I would say Instagram. You know what? I'm gonna say every app. Originally, it was probably MySpace, and it went to Facebook. I think is still probably pretty bad. But I would think Instagram's probably the worst when it comes to affairs. Like I said, that one's like a dating app in a way. You just see pictures of people like posting selfies or whatever, and then people just like message you or DM. There's lots of ways to get a hold of somebody nowadays. All you have to do is just click on somebody and say hey or whatever, and they start talking back to you. And yeah, if you're not careful, that's gonna just lead to a path of destruction. It is. It's going to lead to it. It's wrong. It's not what God intended for us to do. He's not intended for anything for us to do. So it's a gate. Everything's a gateway, guys. Everything's a gateway. This is why, like, I guard my heart with all that I can, man. Like, seriously, everything that I can. I try to guard my heart. I try to make sure to whatever comes up on social media, I make sure that if something I does come up inappropriate, I scroll past it real quick. I make sure to be careful of what I look up. If things are on YouTube, I make sure I don't want to see anything inappropriate. And this could go for anything, like with let's say like the workplace. The workplace, that is another toxic thing that could lead to a lot of cheating and affairs. There's not People need to guard their heart at the workplace as much as possible. I know that you can have acquaintances at work, but like if you're a man, you should not like be buddy buddy with a woman at work at all. Like you could have acquaintances, you could have friends at work, and like I said, I've had like girls at work that have been friends, but I am still guarding my heart. Like I do not want to get like close to these. I don't want to get like super close to these people where I'm talking to them like all the time, talking to them about super personal things. Having their phone number, that's off limits. Like don't have their phone number. I know sometimes you can get their like phone number, maybe something happened where they needed your phone number for something like that. So I get in some situations where maybe that has happened before. Like at this one job, I think one of the girls was planning like what was it, baby shower for my wife and I, and she needed my phone number to kind of get some information and stuff. I think that's a reason to when you get somebody's number. But if it's like to contact them, text them back and forth and everything, like don't do that. That could lead to temptations. That could lead to anything negative. I would steer away from that, man and women. Just get away from that. Like if you have, like I said, if you're married, like don't put yourself in that situation where you're like alone with that person. I know sometimes it happens, but all the time where you're alone with that person, you start talking about all this intimate stuff, like with your family or whatever like that. So yeah, you need to be very careful, especially at the workplace. What other situations could there be? School, maybe that's the thing as well. Like if you're a young kid and you have a girlfriend, try not to get close to like girls in your class. You could say hey or whatever like that and have friends, but try, like I said, don't get their number, don't get their social media. Be faithful to your woman. Girls, be faithful to your guy. So there's different ways to go about this, but there's a lot of temptations out there, guys. Be careful. So let's go over this article here real quick. So let me see here. Okay, so I'll read a little bit of this here. I found it interesting, so let me see here. Okay, so I'll read a little bit of it. When it comes to the state of romance and relationships, recent news has been somewhat disheartening. A recent poll we conducted on this topic revealed a considerable amount of dating pessimism. Perhaps even more concerning was how common young people believe infidelity has become. Young women especially gloomy. Nearly 6 in 10 young women, 57% and 44% of young men believe that infidelity among people in committed relationships is extremely common or very common in American society. I do think it's common, sadly. I think it has just gotten to that place because there's so many things that people do and temptations, and people don't know how to handle it, or they don't care to handle it. They don't care to cheat, and they don't care as long as they get their pleasure. That's all that matters to them, and it's sad. It's not hard to see why. If you've spent any time on social media, you've likely come across excruciating stories about infidelity. Posts about cheating are tailor-made for virality. Sorry, sometimes I just can't spell and say words. Combining high emotional stakes, plenty of drama, and a compelling cast of victims and villains. On TikTok alone, there are more than 350 million posts on the topic of cheating across other social media platforms such as Reddit, blah, blah, blah. But while relationship infidelity feels rampant in American society, evidence of Americans' unfaithfulness is more difficult to pin down. How common is infidelity? So here we're going to get into the good stuff. Despite the prevalence of cheating content on social media, there is not much evidence that marital infidelity has increased dramatically in recent years. The General Social Survey shows that rates of extramarital sex have been relatively stable over the last couple of decades, even as the percentage of marriages have fallen. Given strong social norms against marital infidelity, getting people to admit to having an affair in surveys can be difficult, which I can understand that. Some people are cowards and don't want to say it, and they'll just die of a heart attack because they're just keeping it bottled up inside, and then they eventually die. One study found respondents were 6 times more likely to admit to an affair under conditions of a complete anonymity. In some ways, marital infidelity is less relevant for young adults as the age of first marriage edges closer to 30. Young adults are spending much more of their early adulthood single, dating, or in a non-marital relationship, romantic relationships. Unfortunately, when it comes to tracking the prevalence of relationship infidelity, there's a lot we don't know. A recent survey conducted by YouGov found that 50% of men and 58% of women report ever having had a spouse or partner cheat on them. But a large nationally representative survey we conducted in 2023 puts those numbers significantly lower. We found less than half, 46% of women and only 34% of men report that a partner or spouse has ever cheated on them. Both measures, however, may undercount the incidence of infidelity given that they only capture known occurrences. So for 50% of women, that's real high, man. That's really high. And that's just the thing. That's like what they said. That's just the people that actually like admitted it. The same YouGov survey found that 1/3 of Americans report having cheated on their partner or spouse, although roughly 1 in 5 of those who reported cheating said it was exclusively emotional. Man, that's crazy. 1 in 5 have had emotional infidelity. 1 in 5. That's crazy. So if you like go to a job, I mean, there's 10 people like in a room. Like I said, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I was just watching that World Series game that lasted 18 innings, so I'm kind of tired. What is that? 2 and 10? Like I said, I'm trying to, 2 and, it was that 2 and 10? 2 out of those 10 people have emotionally cheated on somebody? That's crazy. I hope I'm doing math right. Hopefully I'm not making myself look like an idiot. Like I said, I'm pretty tired. This raises another problem. Infidelity is a slippery concept because it is, to some degree, subjective. At minimum, it requires 2 things: the existence of a monogamous relationship and a violation of that commitment. But what counts as a violation is not always clear to both people. What other person defines as unfaithful, such as corn, might be okay to someone else. Which whenever I hear people say they watch like Corn together or like they're okay with it, it's just so weird to me. I don't understand how like people can like do that together, or one person's okay with the other person doing it. You're literally just like watching. I don't understand how you don't get like the jealousy or anything like that. Like you're literally watching like. You're literally, what's the word? It's like you're letting your wife get like turned on by another dude, or you're having your husband get turned on by another woman. That's just, like I said, how does that not bother you? Women are generally more likely than men to define a variety of different behaviors as cheating. For instance, 88% of women said kissing someone else is cheating, but less than 3/4, 73% of men said the same. Kissing somebody is cheating. So, sorry guys, but yeah, if you kiss another woman and you're in a relationship, it is cheating. Even if there's a lack of compelling evidence that infidelity has increased, social media has certainly increased opportunities to stray. Social media puts you in contact with people well outside your normal social circle. James Sexton, a divorce lawyer, dubbed Facebook a cheating machine. Yep, I totally agree with that. It was the original cheating machine because of how easily it facilitates infidelity. He writes, Facebook gives you the means, the excuse, and the cover to communicate with people you have no reason, no business to talk to. Critically, social media platforms allow people to participate in those conversations privately, and this encourages more intimate exchanges. Yeah, that's totally true. You could get a hold of anybody, man. It's so easy to talk to somebody. My wife even showed me one time in one of the cities that we used to live in. There's so many of these weird groups, man. Every Facebook thing has like these groups and everything. She showed me one that she found that was disturbing. That was like a swinger one, and she was like, "Can you look at this? This is unbelievable." Like, like somebody just posted like, hey, where do you find these people, who does it? And like the people, there were so many people commented, and we lived in a really nice city. It was in a nice city. The people in that group were from that city, and so many people were commenting about it, and they look so normal. They look so normal, like your neighbor or something like that. It was very disturbing. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with society? There's so many things that you don't know about people that you'll never know that they're doing that stuff, man. It's crazy. This is to say nothing of the apps explicitly designed to aid and abet infidelity, such as Ashley Madison or Adult Friend Finder. Dating apps such as Tinder also make it much easier to set up discreet rendezvous with a stranger. Rendezvous? I can't remember what that word was. And there's evidence that a significant number of those in committed relationships use them in this way. One study found that more than 1 in 10 married adults under 40 were still using a dating app. That's so weird, man. 1 in 10? That's crazy. Like, what are you using it for? Are you talking to women? Are you talking to men? Like, what's the point of being in a relationship if you're still using it? I know I've heard of some like women using it to get just to get what's the word? Like Tinder likes from men, or just to see if they can match with men, just to see if they like still have it or whatever, like if they're still good looking. And probably if that's what I'm trying to say, like, come on, get a life, like seriously, grow up. Having a partner cheat is undeniably a painful experience, one that can last years and impact future relationship behaviors. A Pew poll found that close to half, 42% of young women in relationships report having snooped on their partner's phone without their knowledge. Yeah, I think that's pretty low, actually. I feel like that should be higher. I feel like it happens a lot more than people realize. But the uncertainty about what counts as cheating is an entirely different kind of problem, and one exacerbated by social media and other online platforms. Sites like Quora are awash with questions posed primarily by women about their partner's online behavior. My boyfriend likes every picture this girl posts on her Instagram and Facebook. Every single one. Does that mean he likes her and wants to date her? That's the whole thing I told you about earlier. Nobody should be following and liking anybody of the opposite sex photo. You shouldn't be doing that. And yeah, he probably is being weird. If he's liking everything that she's posting, yeah, he's probably being weird. He at least like probably thinks she's good looking. You know, I know that you could like think somebody of the opposite sex is good looking, but don't go like going on and following her and liking on her pictures. Like, no, you shouldn't even be following her in the first place. She's not alone. Nearly 4 in 10 young women report having felt jealous or unsure about the relationship because of the way their partner engages with others on social media. Well, that's what he said. That guy said, nip it in the butt. You got to talk about this stuff and let them know that, hey, you're not okay with it. Trust is the primary currency of every relationship. It determines whether it will thrive or fail. Relationships also require attention, a great deal of it. Social media is helpful in keeping us connected to all the various people we know from our current and past lives. Ironically, it can weaken social bonds as well, especially those with a partner or spouse, by demanding so much of our attention and sowing distrust in the process. Yeah, it's true. Like, if you have social media is like the devil if not used correctly. Like I said, I'm all for, if you're married to somebody or in a relationship with somebody, to have a joint Facebook, Instagram, TikTok account. I have no problem with it. Keeps other people from contacting you. That's going to be weird, and it keeps you held accountable too. You shouldn't be like you shouldn't what's the word I'm trying to say? You should be held accountable for yourself that you're not going to do that stuff, you know what I mean? But it's still like if you have it, it's a trust thing. Like, hey, like if I do anything wrong, you're going to see it. So, but you shouldn't be doing anything wrong in the first place. So I think it's more of keeps other people away, and it keeps you in check too. So, which you should be in check in the first place, and I think that's why people should do it. I'm all for it. So, but yeah, In conclusion, for this video, guard your heart, guard your relationship, guard your marriage. Have God at the center of your marriage, and I think everything will fall into place. Um, like I said, do not follow people of the opposite sex unless like your partner knows about it, has an idea of who that person is. But even in that case, probably still stay away from them, just because social media can be a weapon that can be used against you, and it could also give other people the opportunity to try to be weird, because that happens too. You can't trust anybody in this world. You really can't. You can't trust anybody. There's been people that maybe I'll make another video about this. There's been guys that my BS meter went off with my wife when she used to work. She's a stay-at-home mom now, but there was like guys that she used to work with that what's the word? My BS meter went off with them. Like I knew right away that okay, this guy is weird, and I know he's gonna be weird, and I was right. I was right all along, and like I said, I might make a video about that, because I think if you have your intuition goes off with some of this stuff, and I'm telling you, like I said, as a guy, like I'll know what to look for, but you know, my wife was kind of in denial, and I think that might be a little normal. You know, my wife's actually like told me like, hey, that girl's being weird, and I was thinking like, I don't think she is, but she was right all along. And like I said, you don't really see it sometimes, but they do. And like I said, I saw it, but she didn't, and so you kind of have to trust that person, man. Like I said, I might make another video about it. I think it'd be a good topic to talk about, because like I said, your intuition, trust your intuition and your BS meter when it comes to people of the opposite sex and stuff like that, when it comes to when you're married. So but anyway, yeah, guard your heart, guys. Have a joint Facebook or Instagram account. If you don't have one, keep it private. Keep only your friends and family. Try to not have people of the opposite sex on there unless your wife or your husband knows about it, or they know them personally, you know, kind of thing. Even if they do know it personally, still be careful. Just to be on the safe side. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go get a drink of water, because I've been talking for a while now and my throat's getting dry. So anyway, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video. It helps the algorithm, helps it out quite a bit. More people like it, it spreads it around YouTube, and then more people see it. So I will see you guys in the next video, and good night, guys. It's late, so see you next time.